Hadeeds appeal refusal of release from detention. By Derek Chong. Businessman Dominic Hadeed and his wife Genevieve have appealed High Court Judge Frank Seepersad's refusal to order their release from detention over an alleged plot to kill key government officials. In an appeal filed earlier today, lawyers representing the couple, led by senior counsel Douglas Mendez, raised more than a dozen grounds of appeal, claiming Justice Seepersad made several errors in refusing their release from preventive detention orders, PDOs, last week. They claimed Justice Seepersad was wrong to rule that they could be compensated by the state if they eventually succeed in their substantive lawsuit, in which they allege they were targeted by the government based on their ethnicity and an ongoing legal dispute over the termination of leases for state land. The continuing deprivation of liberty is the paradigm of irreparable harm. Liberty taken cannot afterwards be restored. The breach, having occurred, cannot ever be undone, they said. They also contended that Justice Seepersad wrongly required the couple to prove that their continued detention was illegal. They claimed the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, TPS, and the state were instead required to justify the lawfulness of their detention. The misallocation of the burden caused the learned judge to overstate the respondents' prospects and to understate the appellants, thereby vitiating the assessment upon which the refusal of interim relief was founded, they said. The couple also claimed that Justice Seepersad failed to properly consider their allegations of discrimination. The learned judge erred in law, in his provisional assessment of the merits, by unduly deferring to the minister, in circumstances where the appellants had adduced credible and largely unchallenged evidence that demonstrated that prima facie the arrests, detentions, and PDOs were procured for an improper purpose and in bad faith, they said. They further claimed that Justice Seepersad failed to consider evidence they presented regarding the conditions of their detention at the Golden Grove State Prison in Arouca. The couple's lawyers said the appeal is urgent and should be heard on an expedited basis before July 27th. The Hadeeds and a 69-year-old relative, Star Sabga, were detained 2 weeks ago as police officers executed search warrants at their homes and offices. The warrants indicated that they were being investigated for conspiracy to commit murder. The PDOs, which will remain in effect while the state of emergency remains in place until mid-September, stated that they were being detained over an alleged plot to murder government officials and MPs. The probe allegedly stemmed from intelligence gathered by a national security organization that was not identified in the PDOs. Justice Seepersad refused their interim release, but granted them leave to pursue a substantive case. It is essential to distinguish that even if their arrests and detentions were invalid, such does not impact the decision of the minister to issue the PDOs, he said. Although he acknowledged the conditions the couple had to endure and continue to endure in prison, Justice Seepersad said they could be compensated through damages if they are eventually successful in their legal challenge. While the court appreciates the distress from detention, it does hold the view that there may be greater harm if they are released and the intelligence upon which the police and minister acted proves to be true, Justice Seepersad said.